Gemini, welcome back for your twin flame reading. Those of you who are new, big warm welcome. Those of you who have been following for a long time, thank you, much appreciated. I'd like to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and as we've come to the end of the year. The energy within the reading for Gemini, twin flames. Now, I have pulled cards for earth, air, fire, water. So if you're dealing with a particular zodiac sign that is your twin flame, we can check the brief frequency of what either you're feeling about them or what they're feeling about you. You can cross-reference it however it directly fits, but I'll cross-reference between the energies. Okay, we'll get into your reading. Ooh, okay. Something that you're meditating upon, which has been something common coming through in a lot of the readings, is past tense frequencies, especially since we're in the shadow aspect of the Venus retrograde. It can be that you're coming into the month really meditating upon any aspect of failures in the past and, you know, where you went right, where you went wrong, and really using that as a compass as to how to make an assessment. But you're going to need to be careful. Don't get to a point that you just base your assessment on previous energy, because we're releasing the previous energy moving forward in order to move forward. But it can be a frequency that you're coming in with this nostalgic energy of what went wrong in the past and how you can make it right. You may be dealing with an aspect of an injustice. Now, that can be within your twin flame connection or currently in your 3D life, be it you're in a soulmate connection or a karmic. Within this energy, it feels as though there may be some conflict in a direct environment you're currently dealing with right now. Now, that could be work, it could be a direct connection, but you're looking at and you're weighing up the scales of what will be the best option for you moving forward. You are trying to bring balance, and it can be legalities and contracts, finances you're looking at, and really balancing the scales to a point where you're weighing up the pros and cons of what you physically do want. So you are casting an assessment this month. You are very deeply nostalgic of the past. So if you currently are not with your twin, it feels as though you're looking over your life history and really looking at your choices and the way in which you picked things, and, you know, which cup of love should you have picked? How could it have been different? Can even be the cycles within the twin flame connection that you've held with this person, that they're doing this and you're doing that at the same time simultaneously, that you're looking at it and you're thinking, gosh, you know, how different have we been through the whole cycle of this spiritual connection? And definitely throughout the year, I feel it has been transforming. There may have been a point in time where the focus had been very heavily on your side or their side, or a current 3D relationship where finance has been the be-all and end-all. You're also at the heart of the matter feeling that some karmic cycle is tying up and coming to a close, but you are reaping what you're sowing. That can be for good or bad. Karma doesn't just have to come down to bad things, but it is very much an energy where you are very bored with the current status quo of what a direct situation is in your life, but you're reflecting on better times that you held with a person. I do feel it's connected to counterpart, because it may be 3 direct situations they've had, and it might be 4 intervals of coming in and out of connection for some of you. But they're looking at it and they're feeling they've learned quite a bit and they're wanting to apply it to the new situation. They're quite cocky in a sense that, now this can be your energy or theirs, that you know how this is going to go. Your 5D self knows how it's going to go. It's the 3D energy of the uncertainty that is causing slight conflict. What's blocking you is a 3D environment that is very, very harsh. It can be within a karmic connection for those of you who this is relevant, but it feels there is a strict energy surrounding you at the moment. It might be your upbringing, a direct karmic relationship, a work colleague, you know, you being that way towards yourself in order to have this transformation. You're also having to really hold on to your money in order to move this situation forward. I feel some of you are actually preparing I do feel you've made an assessment of what you're wanting. You've really looked back on the past of any bad luck, and you're weighing up the pros and cons. It does feel for you guys it very much is a decision time. Be it your masculine or feminine within this zodiac sign, I feel like you guys are really coming to a place where you're going to be making a judgment. The action as per se may come after the fact, but the judgment to the core is coming through in 3 separate cards. There is also a person who has been very deceptive around you. Now, this can be a twin. Now, when I say that, it can be masculine or feminine or a karmic, but there is a deception energy coming through. Now, I am feeling this is of the past, as well as a current 3D environment where maybe somebody isn't speaking their truth in relation to how they truly do feel. Now, a lot of times when you see with twin, what they say and what they do is 2 very separate things. You need to wait for that to transform. It is what's blocking them at the moment. So, you know, be it they're able to communicate with you, having the ability to do that, I feel that's temporarily hindered due to a situation going on in their life that they're trying to tie up at this point in time. You may be being blocked in an ability to contact them, or you may feel it's spiritually not correct or your domain to do such. However this shoe fits on either side. But that's the energy of what's coming through for Gemini. Now, if Gemini's dealing with the Taurus energy, you know, they're going through an ending. They're coming through a karmic cycle where they're ending an energy. Virgo very much is looking at the situation that there was an aspect of falseness previously. And Capricorn isn't as happy. Now, as a collective within the earth elements, there is a cycle that is directly ending, okay? So it may be that your twin feels this situation has ended or a karmic cycle is ending. It's a frequency, but any ending and a death to a way of doing something is a new way of applying the energy in order to change the whole dynamic of the recipe. Anything that was false is now turning into a very transformative period of being very open and boding well. But really getting to the point where you're balancing your frequencies and you're not getting tempted by situations to remove the energy from the connection. If you're dealing with an air energy, now just at a singular level, not that I've done this with all of them, but I'll do it in this one video. If you're dealing directly with the same zodiac sign, it can be that they're working extremely hard right now. They're also working hard to keep this whole thing afloat at a spiritual, mental level. But they're doing something at a 3D level to move their energy forward. It can be just doing the work in general spiritually. If you're dealing with a Libran, they're very much getting to a point where they are using their energy in a more upbeat manner, and they've really raised their vibration. And the Aquarius energy, they've deeply matured within this situation and the way they're looking at it. As a collective for the air signs dealing with Gemini, they're doing, all of them are doing the work. They've really done the work in order to look at this from a different situation. They're also wanting this happy beginning, and they deeply have matured through this process. If this is your masculine, I feel they're really doing work. They are coming into a higher vibration, and they have matured through this process. Okay, fire signs. They've really released the frequency of hope. And it's not a bad thing. Be it they're masculine or feminine, the fire signs directly dealing with you are getting to a point where they're feeling, it's neither here nor there. It's not bad. It's they're not holding expectation directly connected to it. and they're wanting to make room in their life for whatever is meant to be. They're more open to this process. They're not fighting it. But I do feel that the transformation is going to be a surprise to them. On a singular level, Aries are really coming into a place where they've released it. So what's released is coming back, and it will be looked upon for assessment. I do feel their energy being very fatigued. Leos can be moving home and really looking at a place where they're making room in their hearts for more, but they feel there's too much space between you. Sagittarius is also feeling like this is really going to come as a surprise to them, or vice versa, however it directly relates. But as a whole, the fire signs really have released, and they're going through this transformation, and it's even surprising them. Water signs, if you're dealing with a water sign, okay. They had to let a way of something go, you know, a way of doing something go. So it's really that karmic cycle is transforming to a point they're just not doing it the same as they used to. It is going to move them into a happier frequency, and I do see this being around the silly season. And they do wish to have a very spiritual, happy connection. They do look at you as love, as family, as counterpart. And they're very open to that frequency. But I feel you guys as a whole are very much connected to your twins. Whoever the zodiac sign is really coming to a place where you're going to be making a judgment. I feel that you're also looking at any 3D situations you need to deal with, and you're being very cautious how you deal with it. I feel it's not only for you, it's wanting to tie up the loose ends correctly so you're not dragging deadwood with you. But you are deeply nostalgic of what it was before, and you wish you didn't have to learn these karmic cycles. You know, prior to coming into this connection. It feels regret. But you're being very strict on yourself. Now, it can be that you're being too hard on yourself, regardless of the past, be it masculine or feminine, that regardless of what you're looking at and how you've evolved, you're really casting a critical eye on either twin, the situation, or the whole road as a whole. And it has been very heavy energy this year, so it's very natural that you would be feeling that way. You're really being cautious as well, being opening up to any other energies other than counterpart or anyone as a whole. It's really making you feel quite nervous. But you know you can't lie to yourself, and you know if you can't deal with these situations, it's a very heavy frequency to be living in at a permanent level. But you do feel gradually you're really coming to a place where you're releasing it. I do feel a lot of this frequency will swap over into January. But I feel at a whole, I am seeing a lot of transformations or contact happening by probably the month's end. Some of you, it may be a very quick, harsh 360. I will try and do mid-months. But I do feel whatever is going on in your life, there is an injustice, and you're trying to bring the balance back in it. And that is connected to twin as well. So I am saying for some of you, you will have the direct contact with counterpart in some shape or form, or hear kind of word or gossip about what is going on in their 3D life. But I do feel whatever is happening, even if it's not they're jumping into the hot pot with you, the 360 of what they're going to go through by the end of the year is really to push them in the correct direction. A lot of karmic endings do come through in December, so that can be masculine and feminine. But also moving through to January, I was very much feeling that January is going to be a time frame as well of frustration, but also the finalization of ending those karmic cycles. So I will leave it at that, a very short and sweet twin flame update. If you are needing a booking, you can go to the link directly below. If you do wish to join our tribe, I give free psychic readings away a month. I'll try and do it this month, obviously, because we're moving into the silly season. But otherwise, love and light, and I'll talk to you later.